Hey everyone, welcome to the first session of Resident Evil Regeneration. As you can see, I'm joined by four other lovely people here. This is a campaign that we're going to be playing for who knows how long it takes, but I'm looking forward to it and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. So I'll just go ahead and let you guys go around the room and introduce yourselves. I'm Erzaban, I'll be running the game. I'm from Virginia, I'm 25, but everyone here is probably going to call me Tommy if it's not in the game. Whoever wants to go first.
I'll start then. Hey everyone, I'm Chris. I will be playing Genkai Saitomi. And, well, I'm looking forward to having fun with all of the rest of these guys. I think that's it.
He's not gonna have fun, that's for sure. Joke
Already
aside.
killing the vibe, man.
Sorry, man. Sorry, I'm just.
Gosh dang
All
it.
right.
I had to. I have to go
I'm
next.
Adam, and I'll be playing Daniel Augustus Weber, a hopeful med student who just wants to get good grades. And what are all these zombies about? And I am anticipating pain. I'm going to be honest. I'm anticipating a lot of pain.
Yes, especially with Gen.
Yep, Ken is a gym
hi.
rat and he's gonna take you.
Hi, I'm Shadow. I am 20 this year, and I'll be playing as Alexander Chen, the hacker of this group.
Definitely our hacker man.
And hello, everybody. My name is Skull or Eaton, whichever one's preferred. I'll be playing Ray Kahale, a Hawaiian PE student. And as for myself, I hail from Malta, and I'm age 19. Ready to train some hacker and some doctor how to frickin' get the physical.
Oh, since I forgot to mention it in mine, I am 31 years old and I live in southeastern Kansas.
Good to know.
22 and live in Southern California.
Chicago.
Cool, and then Skull's our one foreign person here from Malta.
Yep. If people have
As you
wondered,
can see him being in
Yeah.
the void right now when
it's
we play.
nighttime. It's nighttime. It's currently 2:16.
Okay,
Anyway.
so one last thing before we go ahead and just hop into the session, and I'm just going to say this for everyone watching. I've got a few disclaimers. One, I've done a lot of research culturally for this game, considering we're not going to be in the US for the majority of it. I'm a fallible human being, though, and everyone else here is, so if we get something wrong, just have some patience, and we'll be working on it as we go, but ultimately this is just us playing a game, having fun, so if we aren't super accurate, I hope you understand. Two, I'm just gonna flat out say it. This game's gonna have some really graphic content that if you're not okay with that, I'd recommend leaving and just not watching this campaign. So if you have a problem with bad language, brutality, morally compromising situations that involve minors that may lead to violence against minors, and other things like that, I'd recommend you just skip this because we're not trying to be PC here. As much as I'd love to be, the setting doesn't really facilitate that. Then 3, this is the first time any of us are playing Cyberpunk 2020 for a full campaign, so if we get a ruling or two wrong, we're learning. Again, I ask for patience. But we'll improve as we go. Then the final one being is if someone does something or says a voice in an accent that's slightly offensive, that's not the intention. We're just playing a game and trying to do a voice for a character, and that happens to be the voice that got used. So I would also appreciate some understanding and patience with that, because if I use a Japanese, Russian, Irish, or whatever accent, that's just me trying to differentiate characters. And if a character has a voice that's married to them, it's better if they at least try to be accurate with it. Now, with all of that said, I do have one warm-up question for the group. What's your general expectations of me, and what are you looking to experience with this game? Because that'll help me as a GM as I go further on.
I guess I'll go first.
Floor is yours.
Honestly, I mean, I know it's cliche. I am looking forward to having fun, but most of the campaigns I've been in have been very stripped back in terms of like what is allowed. And so this is like the one chance to go more grimdark for me.
Okay.
And I'm also anticipating a challenge of being able to maintain my own temperament in that setting. Hopefully playing as a coward. I'm not saying that Germans are cowards. Don't get that idea. Then I'll hopefully be able to help control that a bit more.
Okay.
I'll go next. I mean, anything can happen, to be honest, but my expectation is I'm expecting this campaign will start off like a very slow burn, like a not slow burn, but more like a, you know, it's gonna be normal everyday life for us, and then it's gonna all go to crap at a certain point in the campaign. That's my expectation, and I've played enough at least darkish games, not grim dark. I don't consider this grim dark. I consider it dark. There's the setting and all that, because there's still hope. There's still hope we can survive, right? Right? No, okay. But no, to be honest, I'm expecting that, you know, us living a normal life and then everything going to hell. That's what I'm expecting, to be honest. So yeah, and I'm expecting us to use our brains a little bit more than usual.
Okay.
I'll go
Who's
next. Much like Skull and Adam, I'm expecting a bit of a darker scenario for us to explore. And I want to have a really fun story with you guys. So I'm also, hint, Mr. D, I'm looking forward to that bar scene.
Approaching inside joke territory, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm also just looking forward to having a good time in the Resident Evil style.
Cool.
As for me, I am hopefully get my slushie without any accidents this time. And as everybody has been saying, I will like to see how our characters progress through these dark times.
Cool. So I'll go ahead and preface this by saying that while there will be dark content, that's not what I'm planning on inhabiting the whole campaign with. As far as what's going to be in it, both you guys and the viewers are going to have to see. The one thing I will say, my goal here is for everyone to have fun. So if there's any point no one's not having fun, please approach me and we'll see if we can work it out outside the game. And then I'll also make it a point to check in pretty regularly just to see how everyone's doing, what they thought of the sessions, everything like that. But those are all great expectations, and I'm looking forward to hopefully delivering on them. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Every story comes with a very definite beginning, middle, and end. Back in 1968, 3 men in Africa would find a planet called the Stairway to the Sun. These gentlemen were called Edward Ashford, James Marcus, and Oswell E. Spencer. They would cultivate this plant and form Umbrella starting in the early 1970s. They would take their reach and it would spread globally. As time would go on, the only living member of the founding principal would become Spencer Oswell before the 90s. There was other rumors that Umbrella might have been up to something in the background, but no one had any definite proof, at least not until September 1998, when Umbrella launched the Raccoon City incident. Accidentally, but still, nonetheless, they did it. This would lead to a global catastrophe that resulted in many deaths, things that were never seen before, and the beginning of bioterrorism. This would also lead to the founding of the term BOW, bioorganic weapon. This would create a world state that would forever change everything. As Raccoon City came to a close, the U.S. government did the unthinkable launching a nuke on its own soil just to stop the spread of the infection. Total deaths of the incident were estimated to be over 100,000. Survivors few and far between. And this would change things forever to come. But before we go any further, again, the year is 2000. You are currently 4 years old, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Your father's taking you to a very special place you've never been before. And you see yourself approaching on these beautiful ivory steps that basically cascade forward up 3 stairs as he holds your hand. As you see it, you see cherry blossom trees, some ivory rosewood making prayer, pass-throughs, and the forming of what looks to be a temple. How would you say Gen absorbs a lot of this?
He's looking around the flowers from the blooming trees, and the overall ambiance is probably something he's, as a 4-year-old, kind of awe-inspired by. And he's just looking around and probably like half wanders off a couple of times before like he reaches the end of where his father allows him to by holding his hand.
Your father looks a bit more worn, a bit more formal than he usually does whenever you've seen him leave the house to go to this region. But you can notice that he takes a lot of pride in like taking you here, and he's got more of a serious demeanor. And I'd say the first or second time, he kind of grips your hand and goes, "Gensun,
Mm-hmm.
this is a very important place.
Okay.
Today, you meet our ancestor." And he'll take you up the steps. And you recognize a bit of an older man that looks slightly a bit younger version of this man. You've met this man once or twice. You recognize him as your grandfather.
Grandpa!
He kneels down and waves to you and holds his arms out.
Again, kind of like steps forward, but like realizing he's holding his father's hand, like look to his dad.
He'll just give you a little bit of a smirk and let go of your hand.
Then he runs over to his grandpa and gives him a hug.
He'll give you a big old hug, and then he says, "Gensun, how have you been in daycare?"
I don't like the lady. She doesn't let me take naps.
Well, there will be plenty of time for that when you get older. But always keep your petals open and absorb all knowledge you can.
Okay.
And he'll basically carry you, and your father stays a little bit behind. And then pretty much after you walk for about another 3 minutes, you go into a big red building that's got kind of the plateaued roof that you see in traditional Japanese structures. And as you go into it, you kind of see that there's a mat where there's people training. And he kind of walks you by, and unless you say anything, he'll kind of keep walking you up the stairs as you pass by them.
Again, probably like resituates himself to watch them for longer, but doesn't say much.
Okay. As you go up the stairs, you notice that the dojo's second floor seems to be very unpopulated. There's almost a little bit of dust on the railing of the stairway as you go up. And as you go up there, he kind of slides the door open, and you see him take his shoes off and kind of set them next to the mat. And he kind of brings you in, and you see a bit of a skylighted area. It's not really a skylight, but you can see there's a section where the roof's been left open, and there's a little bit of like Dream Garden sand where they've done like the patterns and stuff in it.
Ken
And then-
probably like stares at it for a while, just like tracing the patterns with his eyes.
Yeah, and as you do, you notice that there's a bit of a sear gray stone in the middle that doesn't have very clear writing on it, but there's a few characters on it.
Gonna tug on his grandpa. Grandpa, what's that say?
As you look at this and you ask, he says, "Yes, Gensun, that is the resting place of Mortihei Ishiba, the one who brought us Aikido." And then he kind of, you see a little stack of like incense burning like in a circle on a pole, and then he hands you one. Would you like to give him one?
Again, we'll gently take it.
And he'll kind of just stand behind you and just kind of give you a small push on the shoulders.
Again, walks over and sticks the little incense in the pot. And he'll kind of mimic what he's probably seen his father or grandfather do, and like get on his knees and do a little prayer. He doesn't know what to pray for, but he's like,
He's gonna try his darndest at it.
He just thinks, "Thank you for Aikido."
Yeah. And then as you do your prayer, your grandfather kind of kneels beside you and goes, "We owe him very much respect. He was a very honorable man and gave us many things. If you would like, I can start showing you Aikido next year."
Okay. I'll just nod, like, in that way that a young child does, like, not fully understanding what they're agreeing to, but why not?
He'll give you a smirk and just pat you on the shoulder. Fast forward, year's 2003 again. So you're not visiting, but I'd say like you've gotten enough to where you started like practicing Aikido, and I'd assume that you started to get a little bit of an affinity for it, like most kids do when they just have like a hobby that they've essentially grown into.
Again, also just seems to grow a little stronger than most kids his age. He's very athletic.
So pretty much you've noticed that like your father doesn't really get to go with you to the dojo as much as he used to. The last like few years he's been really, really busy. And he looks more strung out when he's at home. You do get to like socialize with him, your sister, and your mother, and your younger brother, correct?
Yes, younger brother Miki.
It's pretty late at night. Like we're looking at like maybe a colder, more winterish day around like December. You see on the news that there looks to be a symbol of like multiple triangles, red and white together, with an arrow that shows like down next to it and like different numbers banding across the bottom.
Do I recognize it in any way?
At your age, I'll tell you what. Roll me a social roll. That would be under empathy.
Oh. Any mods?
Just a flat roll.
Alright. That's a 6.
6. It's pretty shapes and colors.
Yep. No. Just trying to like quirk his head. Then just if it doesn't change, he's probably gonna change the channel.
Yeah. I'd say when you change the channel, it hits about like 9 o'clock, and you see your father come in looking really gruff. Your mother like goes and talks to him, gives him a kiss, and then he seems like he's got a bit of focus in his eyes. And then you can see that like he's got a bit of a parcel in his hands. Then he kind of walks over to you and kneels down. Again?
And look at him. Yes, Dad?
Okay, anyone come by looking for me?
No.
Okay, good. Go get your sister. Make sure both of you have taken your pills, and we're gonna have to go for a little walk, okay?
Alright. And he'll get up and jog down the hall to get his sister. Akari!
Yeah. And then as Akari comes with you, she's pretty compliant in it, because if your dad's saying do it, there's never really been a reason to second guess it. You notice that your mother is still taking care of your younger brother, Miki. And she opts to stay behind, but your dad basically starts taking you to downtown, holding both your hands. You can see that like it's more like he's got that parcel like gripped like that to his chest, and he's like holding both of your hands with his other arm. And you can see he's got a bit of a panicked look as he's kind of shifting his eyes in every different direction.
Gen just kind of like tries to track where his dad's looking, and after a while, just, Dad, you're kind of scaring me.
It's okay. It's okay. I just need the two of you to really trust me. We're going to go on a little trip, stay out of town for a little bit, and then we're going to come back, okay? Your mother's going to meet us there.
We gonna going to see Grandpa?
Maybe in a little bit.
All right. I know.
And he starts walking you to Subway. And the Subway is packed. Like, you're almost pressed back and forth. There's just people going in every which direction. You can see more of the same news report of, like, the same symbol and everything else happening.
Gen will kind of grip his sister's arm and his dad just a little bit harder so that they don't get separated, but also nudge his sister and like, you know what that symbol is?
She'll turn to you. Again, that's Umbrella.
Umbrella.
Yeah, where Daddy works.
Oh, that's why it was. Seemed, I saw it earlier. Just I couldn't remember it.
Yeah, to be fair, he doesn't really talk about it. Last time I heard him say something, he was saying something about like Rockford Island, where he was going, or something like that.
Rockford. That doesn't sound familiar at all.
Yeah, like I've never heard of a Rockford. Is that place here in Tokyo?
No, yeah, maybe I guess, but that also kind of like just goes really far for work. So maybe it's out of. Maybe it's not even in Japan.
And then with that, your father gives a little bit of a tug. Give me an awareness.
All right, I can do that. I am much better at that.
22. Okay. So you notice your father walking with purpose. Then as soon as you're about to get to the subway, you kind of see your father stop and just look in a certain direction. Then you look and you see a bit of a hallway that doesn't have anyone moving in it. Then you kind of see a bit of a blur moving it, but you can't make out what was in it.
He'll probably stare at it. Just then like look at his dad. Is his dad still staring at it?
Your dad's changed his focus quickly, and he's walking the two of you in a different direction.
Does it seem purposeful? Like he noticed something there and is immediately going a different direction?
Yes, without a doubt.
You know, Gen will kind of like tug on his sister, like hurry up a little. I think something's wrong.
Yeah, Dad's never acted like this. Then your dad just kind of turns around. Shh, let's go.
And silence.
As you make your way back up the steps, you kind of keep a closeful eye, and you notice that like your father's very intentionally walked like back through a bigger crowd that would have been harder to see.
Gen's gonna keep his eye out for whatever that shape or that weird movement was.
Yep. So pretty much you get out the subway, then you keep walking your way down the street, then you see him making his way to a bus stop. And then as he's holding your hand at the bus stop, he kind of looks around. And then he just kind of like has another freeze. And then he turns to both you and Akari. Again? Akari? Yeah, Dad?
He just kind of like looks at him like, yeah.
He's gonna take the parcel and hand it to you.
Gen
Take this and run.
Where?
That way. And he points further down an alleyway.
Gen will grab his sister's hand and start running.
All right, cool. One final roll. Roll me endurance.
All right, pretty good at these. 19.
19. Okay, so you start booking it, and then as you book it, you kind of see your father run in the opposite direction. And as you run further and further down the hallway, you pretty much kind of see that like everything's dingy. It's so dark out to where you're having a hard time like seeing much of anything. Then as you come to a little bit of a narrow turn in the alleyway, you know how if there's like a sharp turn, it just kind of corners like that in most alleyways. It's similar to that. You notice that there's some trash there. Then your sister kind of slips on some garbage and falls over.
He'll stop and like immediately try and pick her up. Come on, we gotta go.
Yeah, she'll get up and start following you. Then as you go to the other end of the alleyway, you kind of see as it comes back out to the street, and you see your father on the other end of the street running. Then as you come out to the end of the alleyway, you basically see like an arm basically come out of the alleyway and basically clothesline him to the alleyway adjacent to him across the street.
Gen just Dad!
As you say Dad, you look and see a figure come out the alleyway that looks like that man.
Gen seeing that immediately does not think friendly. And so he's gonna stop and like pull his sister behind him.
You see this figure turn and look at you. He looks at your father on the ground, then without any hesitation, like I said, he just kind of pulls the handgun off of his hip. Then you just hear. Then he just looks at you across the street. Then you see him basically go like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull a car and just run in the opposite direction.
You basically see these figures basically start coming out just very similar to this other man, and as you keep running further down the street, you're going further and further, and it seems like you're getting more secluded of an area where there's less and less like lights turned on, there's less cars moving through, and you eventually find yourself basically coming to a bus stop. And then as you stop to catch your breath, pant for your life, and you notice that your sister's behind you. As you take a quick surrounding check of your area, you basically see the same figure basically come up to you and basically punch you to the ground.
He's gonna
finding
scream
what
out in
role I'm
pain.
gonna have you give. Well, if you're screaming, you can scream.
Yeah. I mean, he's just a little kid. He's gonna scream out in pain, and it's gonna be in that shrill voice that all kids have.
As you do that, roll me a strength feat -4 because you are not 10 yet.
Yeah. You mean body?
Yeah, body.
So, body at -4. 9.
9? Okay, so you visibly thud, but you feel like he could have hit you much harder than he did. And this figure kind of just looks at you as you're screaming, and Akari starts screaming with you, basically like kneels down and then just puts his hand over your mouth and goes, shut up, shut the fuck up.
Full force, I'm gonna try and kick him in the crotch.
Roll me an attack roll.
Should I use a keto? I don't.
You can use the keto at -6 because you've only been doing it for like maybe 2-3 years.
That's still a 16.
16? Okay, let me roll his. 16, okay. So like, let me pull up session meet. As you go to like kick him in the crotch, you see his other hand basically like catches you, then drags you, and then he pulls you in closer and basically grips you around the neck. Shut fuck up. Then as your sister starts screaming, you basically see with the hand that he now is free after dragging you, he basically just kind of smacks her down.
Yeah, with that, you don't touch his sister. He's just gonna scream and punch and do everything he can to hurt this man.
Okay, roll one more attack roll.
Alright. 18.
18. You hit him, and he visibly, like, jerks a little bit. Then as he jerks, you basically hear footsteps come behind you, and with an audible, like, thwack to the back of the head, you kind of just black out. And you can hear... It's more or less just your sight, and, like, you've stopped moving, but you can still hear them talking. And you basically hear the voice go, huh. Kind of shitty of you, Ghost, letting a little kid actually hit you back. And then he's like, shut the fuck up, at least I got the parcel. What about these kids? And he goes, hang on, let me check. And then you hear more footsteps coming. This is Operative Hunk. Uh-huh. We've got the parcel in hand. Target's been eliminated. Though we got one mix-up. Kids. 2 of them. I understand. Just get the fucking parcel and tie him up. And
Then I'm guessing I feel the parcel being taken from me.
Yep, and as you two are tied up, you kind of hear audible stepping of like about 4 or 5 pairs of feet going away rather briskly. Back to the timeline. In the year 2003, Umbrella would basically face extreme scrutiny ever since the Raccoon City incident by the US government. They would persist in legal battles for years, but ultimately by 2003, Umbrella was defunct and no more. With this came a new realization that though Umbrella was the first, they probably won't be the last to try this. Because while it had been banned since 1972 to be constructing bioorganic weapons or had heavy regulations on biogenetics altercation, Umbrella obviously skirted this and it took them decades to figure it out. So they pretty much decided that there needed to be a direct force involved. This would lead to the formation of, like I said, the BSAA and the FBC, the Federal Bioterrorism Commission, that was basically founded and started by the US government. Both organizations were formed, though to much of the public they would remain unnoticed until the year 2004. Alexander, you're up.
Oh, goody.
Year is 2004, and your family has gone on a vacation to the new Aquapolis city of Terra Grigia. Pretty much, it's the closest you could think to there being a real-life Atlantis. This is about as close as you're gonna get, because it's a very beautiful city. It runs on solar energy. It floats out in the middle of the water. They've got multiple theme parks. It's beautiful since they opened it about 5-6 months ago. What would you say would be some of your favorite things you would want to do in this trip at a kid your age? And keep in mind it is 2004, so do appropriate math.
I'll probably be playing on my with the Rubik's Cube.
In your hotel room, just playing with the Rubik's Cube?
And probably with my sister Sarah.
Yeah. So as you're playing in the Rubik's Cube, you kind of see the hotel door open. Would you go by Alexander or Alex, just out of curiosity?
Alexander, if his parents are speaking to him, but if it's his sister, it's Alex.
Okay, she'll come in. Hey Alex, we're going to the water park. You ready?
Not really.
Come on, let's go.
I don't want to go outside.
She'll basically kind of slowly sit down and... Not sit down, she'll walk to the bed that you're sitting on, fiddling with your little Rubik's Cube, and sit down next to you, and just kind of like tap your shoulder and lean in. What's wrong?
Dad got mad again.
Why do you get mad?
Um, I I don't know. I don't know.
Look, you can't really just fixate on those things. Come on, we're here. We're far away from home. Do you think we're really going to get to do this ever again? There's literally a whole ocean out there, Alex.
He keeps playing with his Rubik's cube. Um, do you really think it'll be fun?
Yeah. Besides, Mom's taking us. Dad won't be there.
Okay.
Okay, so the two of you will leave and you'll make your way to like the water park. I'd say after it's gonna time lapse. Like imagine one of those speed laps you see on like YouTube or like any documentary where it's like the one camera angle and time's just moving by. This is about the time that goes by, like about 3 to 5 hours at the park. Would you say like eventually you would have warmed up to it? Or would you have kind of stayed Mr. Mopey Pants the whole time? Mr. Mopey Pants.
No, not like maybe a little bit mopey, but he'll probably be having a lot of fun.
Yeah. As it comes to the close of the day, you're drying off, and Sarah basically like shows you some pictures that they got on the slide, like most theme parks do, where they take your pictures. You're like, down a water slide or on like a log ride or whatever. She starts showing you all of those. Then your mother comes up. What's your mother's name? I'm just asking because you didn't give one specifically in your questionnaire.
I did it.
No.
Yeah. Maria.
Maria?
Yeah.
And did you give one for your father, just out of curiosity?
I think it was Kaiwen.
Kaiwen? You'll eventually go back, and your mother Maria is waiting for you from the end of that one ride, and she goes, "You two have fun?"
Yeah.
Good, because once summer vacation's over, I really expect you to do great in school. After all, you want to be a champ just like your sister here, right? Your sister looks a little uncomfortable at that remark.
You could not visibly see Alex becoming more closed off from people now. He's slowly going back to how he was at the beginning.
Your mother kind of notices that and has like a little bit of a stillness in her face, like, shit, I just fucked up. And she kind of just forces it away, then goes, I'm sure you're going to do just great in school. You're going to make a lot of friends this year. And you'll do us just proud. A little bit of a slight strain.
He'll probably, try to he'll be clenching his his hands, and probably look around.
When you do, she says, but let's not worry about that. We're here to have fun. Let's go get ice cream. And she kind of takes the two of you by your shoulders and starts walking you two out the park. And you get to the ice cream stand. They've got slushies. They've got ice cream floats. They've got bars and everything. Like anything you could have wanted. Like what treat would young Alexander want? You can pretty much pick it and you'll have it.
A slushie.
What flavor slushie?
Blue raspberry.
Okay. You get your blue raspberry slushy, and your mother does seem to be genuinely caring about like your well-being and making sure you're all right, and that like what she said there, she realized was a little bit of a slip up. You two start walking, and you notice that there's a little bit of a traffic jam on the Terragresian street. Roll me an awareness.
No modifiers, right?
No modifiers, because you are chillin'.
A 25.
Nice. You notice that the pileup in traffic is caused by an accident further up, where there's smoke coming from some vehicles. It looks like there was a bit of a head-on collision. Then pretty much you're holding your slushy, then you start looking around and you're noticing like a whole bunch of people running every which way direction, and your mother's grip kind of tightens as you start walking back to the motel fast as possible. As you keep looking, you kind of notice that you hear some noises, not of the kind that you're used to hearing.
Little Alexander will try to find where that noise was coming from.
You do, but unless if you visibly try to fight off your mom, you're not really going towards it, you're walking away.
He'll probably try to find grab his sister's hand.
Yeah, she'll let you hold it, not really like trying to fight you on it, because you get the sense that she's a little perturbed as well. And small question, not really important, but are you like a full natural redhead or just dyed later on?
It's died.
Okay. What would your natural hair color be? Because that's the one reason I didn't pick out a portrait for your sister just yet.
Black hair.
Black hair. You notice her black hair and like tannish skin, and her eyes kind of are a bit wider than normal. Pretty much, she's paying attention to this about as much as you. And then as you walk down the street, you basically start walking forward. And as you go forward, you basically see what looks like a bit of a green blur fly past you.
Did it come from...
As you turn and look, you kind of see that Stilton stops on top of one of the cars right in front of you. And I'm going to say you wouldn't know, but it's basically like this green reptilioid creature that's got like claws out like that, and it's kind of hissing straight at the three of you.
Alexander's a little bit stunned.
Roll me one more awareness. No modifiers.
16.
16? You notice that this isn't the only creature like this. You can kind of see more piling up. And then as you look down one of the other alleyways, you can kind of see a bit of a shambling of like a congregate of people coming, but they aren't moving naturally. You're not really sure what they are because they're far away, but you get the feeling that you've got split seconds to do something if you're going to do it.
I'll probably, yank my mom's hand, like, to do something.
Yeah, and then when you yank her hand, she kind of looks down at you, and you can see that she basically holds both of your hands and starts running. We'll hold up on that. I'd say you start running and you kind of see these things leaping and jumping after you with like hyper speed. And as your mother's running and like holding the both of you, you notice that she trips. Roll me a reflex save.
Reflex save. That's just reflex, right?
Yep, reflex.
A 7.
7, okay. And pretty much as your mother trips, you turn around and you basically see one of those green creatures hop in front of you, and basically like it cuts her back open as it's going forward. It has just enough power to reach your face and gives you the scar right beside your eye.
Mm,
And as you're hissing, you kind of see your sister slump down to the ground, like kind of shimmying up against like a chain link fence.
mhm.
And then pretty much as that's happening, you kind of see these creatures coming. And as it comes to like whack again, you basically hear gunshots. Then you see an explosion pop out of the building. And as you see that concrete brick basically comes and like smacks you across the head, knocking you out.
Damn.
Fast forward 2 hours later, my guy. You wake
Can't
up.
get a break at all.
You wake up and it's dark and you hear like noises everywhere. Though whatever was happening isn't really happening anymore, and you can kind of see like the corpse of one of those creatures as there's like debris and other stuff and fires in every which way direction. What do?
What do I do? Probably once Alexander regains consciousness, he'll probably not weekly scream Sarah and his mother.
Okay, you start screaming Sarah, Maria, and then you really don't hear anything, but you can hear like mobilizing of footsteps, and you feel it's coming. Is there, out of character, guys, is there like a basic stealth stat?
Can I throw my slushy
Yes,
at
there
it?
is. It's under reflex.
Yeah, roll me a stealth.
A 10.
10. As you hear it coming, you basically look around your surroundings and you see a bit of a car, and you're able to like hug it and stick to the shadows, and you basically see some other individuals dressed very combat heavy moving down the street, and you can notice on their armband, I won't have the symbol here, but I'll post it after the session. It says Veltro on the side of it. It's got a V with a knife and a flag, and you basically see them running down the street. As you look around, you get more of your surroundings. Then as you look forward, and you see a blue raspberry slushie just splattered on the ground.
No, my slushy.
All is right in the universe.
Yep.
As you take awareness, you can basically hear over like intercoms, like different places for survivors to move. And you can basically, it's doing like the full on like emergency siren across all of the different areas. And you can basically hear that people are gathering towards the main access tower of Terra Grigia.
Before paying attention to the directions to go to the save point, Alexander will be trying to look for his sister.
As far as you can see, she's not here.
Mother?
Ditto.
Damn. I'll try to pinpoint the direction where the tower is.
Okay. No real check needed. You slowly make your way across the streets, and you see some stuff that, a kid your age really shouldn't be seeing, but, no big deal. Just some dead bodies here, there, some, like, people getting off, gunfire, helicopters moving overhead. You could clearly feel that things are not right now. As you make your way to the tower, you basically find yourself coming to a bit of an axiom in the streets where it's basically like a 4-lane road, and no real way to pinpoint where you are because you don't live here, you're going on vacation, you're young, you don't have a map. You can kind of see that the street lights are flickering, and like some poles have been knocked over. There's clear like damage of like there was a fight here at one point. Then as you're standing in the middle of this four-way intersection, you kind of hear and you can kind of see some very visible, like half deteriorated, for lack of a better descriptor, zombies pouring out from every which way.
So I am caged in. Great.
Not yet.
Is there any direction where there's no walking corpses?
To the east. They're coming from the other three, though.
Um,
And it's a biggie.
Is there anything I can use to defend myself?
Roll me awareness.
A 20.
20. You're able to find basically what looks to be like a little pack that someone dropped on the ground. And when you open it, and then it does like the generic like Resident Evil item acquired noise from like the older games, where you see that there's like a couple herbs in it and a knife.
I'm injured, right? So
Yeah, you feel it would take both your herbs to get rid of your 4 herbs. Your herbs. It's spelled H. Prob might have always said herbs. Thank you, Adam.
herbs. My herbs.
It's herb, but go on.
I was just making a marijuana reference.
Okay.
I'll probably use one of my herbs.
Remove 2 wound points. You haven't mixed these. They're basic herbs. Because you're basic.
So I could have mixed them. Great.
Well, no, I'm saying like they're starter herbs.
Yeah.
You may want to book it though.
I'll probably book it.
Though the knife's like pretty sweet though.
First weapon acquired.
Yeah. So you start making your way down the street, and you notice like the infected aren't far behind. The other creatures that you saw, you don't really see them. You on your ways here, you've seen like a few bodies of them though. As you start going, you basically start seeing more of them shamble out, and basically as you come towards that end of that street, you see another zombie basically come out and start spitting up blood, and then it basically starts having an ooze come out of its different pores and crevices, and pretty much as its fingers start spreading further out, you can kind of see this ooze populating over it as it glosses over the arms and basically starts forming more of like generalized spikes.
Does not look good.
And then it basically kind of looks at you, and you see that it's dressed more in combat fatigues, and you see FBC written on its armband, and then basically it kind of screams at you. Outbreak! Evacuation! And it starts wheezing as it coughs more blood up, and its jaw like dehinges, and it starts shambling at you at a fast pace.
Oh god, I wish I could kill it. End its misery, but I can't. I'm like, what, a 5-year-old? Okay, it's the endurance reflex, right?
Yeah. You can roll either or. It's your choice. Endurance is runaway, reflexes to get out of the immediate like swinging of its claw arm now.
14.
14? Which one?
Reflex.
Reflex? It swings at you, and you basically like yeet yourself out the way of it very ungracefully because you've never been in this kind of situation before. As you start getting up, it's kind of closing the gap, getting ready for another swing. Then as its arm comes up, you hear very loud as you kind of just see its head basically split open and it falls over. You see this man that I just posted in the chat basically appear in front of you. There he goes, "Hey kid, Over here.
I'll probably look, run at him, and also hold the little knife, like try to hide it, and then if anything suspicious happens, self defense.
Yeah. So as you run up to him, you kind of see the zombie get back up. Then you basically see him pull his rifle back up and dump another like 6 shots into it. Then it stops moving. Then he basically kneels down. Okay, what's your name, kid? What's your name?
Alexander.
Alexander. All right, cool. I'm with the FBC. My name's Parker. Okay.
Parker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you with anyone? Are you lost?
I was with my sister and mom.
Okay. Well, keep an eye for him. No promises. Stay close.
Mom got stabbed by one of the lizard people.
Whew. Okay. Think, Parker. Think. This little kid. What you gonna do? I know I shouldn't have said that. All right. Listen, kid. And he kind of just kneels down and puts his hand on your shoulder, and he leans his rifle on the like side of the wall in the courtyard area you're opening off the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Just stick with me. If we see your mother and your sister, we'll help them, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now keep up. And then you see him pick his rifle back up. And then he just looks back over. Then you see, like, the same zombie, like, slumping, like, as it's rolling back over on the ground. And then he goes, oh, for fuck's sake. And then he just shoots it another 2 times. And then it finally stops moving. And then you see him just kind of drop his mag and reload it. Things with Parker are safer than they were before, and he eventually gets you to a bit of a holding area, and you notice like the fences are kind of like caving in where there's infected piling up as he gets you back to like the safe zone that they have set up.
Mm-hmm.
He basically starts talking to people at the gate, and then he turns to you, hey, go to the tent over there, see if your family's there. If they're not, come back, okay?
Okay. It'll probably take a minute or so for Alexander to have the courage to leave his side, but eventually he'll go to the tent.
Yeah, and you see like he's not really like abandoning you. It's just like, hey, I gotta talk to people about like different things going on here. And you see other people dressed in like combat garb, wearing like BSAA insignias or like FBC armbands and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much as you make your way to the tent, it's a little crowded. You start looking around as you're seeing like the different people being treated on the beds and like other people being escorted to different directions at the foot area of this tower. Pretty much, you don't think you see your mother or your sister.
Mm-hmm.
Then as soon as you're about to lose hope on that endeavor, you hear, Alex?
I'll probably turn around quickly.
You see Sarah right in front of you.
Do I see dear mother?
You see father with her, and then you see them standing in front of a bed where your mother's being treated.
Okay. Either stay with bad father or go with good guy with Sarah.
Alex, get over here.
Damn it. No fun adventures. Great. Who was that again?
Your sister, mother, and father are out of bed.
I'll probably, not respond back walk away slowly. Because father's there. And probably nobody wants him near.
Okay. You kind of walk your way outside the tent. And there's a little bit of a pause. You pretty much kind of see the side of the white tarped tent that everyone's in open up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see your father come out.
Damn it.
He doesn't say anything, but he puts his hand on your shoulder and he's got a little bit of a forceful grip. And then he goes, Alexander, where were you? We were scared sick.
Where mommy left me.
Well, you're safe now and we're happy to have you back. You want to come back inside the tent?
I want to say thank you to Parker.
Who's Parker?
He saved me and brought me here.
Okay. Show me where he is and I'll take you there.
Alexander will probably, try to leave his dad's grip and go and find where he last saw Parker at.
Your father follows you there and you get there, and then Parker kind of has a clipboard as he's going over stuff with his rifle like slung to his back. And then as he's talking, he kind of gives a like finger up like that. One moment. To the other FBC agent that he's talking to. Hey, kid.
He'll probably run up to Parker and hug him by the side.
He'll kind of go like that. Hey, it's all right. You're good. And he kind of puts his hand down on your head. What's up?
I found them.
And then he'll look up and see your dad pretty close by. That's wonderful, Alex. Look, I'm pretty busy. If your family's here, it's best you be with them.
What Alexander will do next is that he'll take out the knife that he found on the street and give it to Parker. Here to protect yourself.
He'll kind of take it and look it over. Pretty nice cutlery for a kiddo your age. As he kind of like noogies your hair a little bit. Thanks.
He'll probably smile at Parker.
All right, hey kid. Just take care of yourself, and I'm pretty sure your family's gonna make sure you're just fine.
Mm-hmm. He reluctantly lets go of Parker.
When you get back to your father, he kind of like waits till you start walking back to the tent, and then he goes, "No, get in the goddamn tent and go see your mother."
Yes, father.
All right. And you go back to the tent, and like things advance for about like half a day. Then eventually, I'm just gonna zip through this so we got time to hit the other two people.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much after about 1 hour, 1 to 4 hours of staying in that camp, you notice that the fences are getting rather congested and crowded, and pretty much the FBC starts moving people into the tower. And as everything goes on, you can pretty much hear muffled speech back and forth from the FBC agents and the BSAA talking to each other as they're controlling the situation best as they can. And you pretty much hear one of the FBC guys on the radio say, "We're using the solar battery." Oh, fuck. Okay. Then you hear over the intercom that there's more of a centralized evacuation up the tower. And your family gets out via helicopter. And as you get out, you basically see pretty much the clouds part and a giant, like, yellow beam start to form from the sky as the helicopters go away, and you see like almost this gamma ray like thing coming from the sky as they use the orbital solar battery to basically wipe Terra Grigia off the face of the Earth. And you see the opening cutscene from Resident Evil Revelations 1 now with the tower at the side and like all the explosions as it falls further into the Mediterranean Sea. Your sister will hold your hand as you're watching from the distance. And then if you look at one of the other helicopters, you can pretty much see Parker kind of wave to you.
And then once Alexander sees Parker, he'll smile brightly at Parker.